Alright guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are back, thank you for coming. So today I'm going to be talking about the myths and misconceptions that I oftentimes hear when I am travel nursing. And sadly, a lot of these myths and misconceptions keep people from pursuing a career in travel nursing. And to me, that's really sad because when I hear them, I'm just like, that is not true. That is not true. And I just wanted to make this video so that if you are that kind of person who is on the fence and you want to travel, but something is keeping you back, I want you to just kind of simmer down, woosah, and realize like some of these things are really just myths and they're not true. And don't keep that. Don't let that keep you back from being a travel nurse. So if you kind of want to hear about that, and keep on watching. So one of the biggest misconceptions that I find about travel nurses is that we have no autonomy, and that holds a lot of people back from pursuing that career path or even taking on a travel assignment. And with lacking autonomy, I mean, a lot of people feel like when you're a travel nurse, you have to go where the company sends you, like you're a gypsy. So you sign up with a company and they can call you tomorrow and be like, hey, you gotta go to Alaska tomorrow or next week. That is not the case at all. Believe it or not, as a travel nurse, I feel like I have more autonomy than when I was a staff nurse, and I will explain. So how the process generally goes, and for me personally, if I want to travel, I usually have a specific city, town, destination in mind. For example, last year I spent 9 months in Atlanta, Georgia, and I knew that's where I wanted to go. So I called up my recruiter and I let her know, hey, I want to work in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the specific hospital that I'm looking for. This is the unit that I would like to work on, and this is the amount of money that I would like to get paid every week. So given my recruiter that direction, she was able to find me a facility that fit that criteria. She also had 3 other options for me to choose from. So within those options, she was able to break it down to where it's located in Atlanta, how much I would be making with each assignment, and the charting system, which for me at that time was really important because I did not want to learn a whole entire charting system. So I actually spent a whole week researching those hospitals, and then I called her back and I let her know that I wanted to interview for 2 of the 3 hospitals that she sent me. I was able to interview for both of them. I actually ended up getting both jobs, but I went with one because the charting system that they had was actually a little bit easier than the other one. So I say this for people who just are a little bit reluctant because they feel like they just get thrown into an assignment or get thrown into a town or get thrown into a hospital. That's not the case at all. Before you accept an assignment, you will be told the name of the hospital and you will be asked if you want to interview for that job. So there is a lot of autonomy there. So another misconception that I oftentimes hear that keep people back from travel nursing is that they feel like they're too old or they're too young to travel nurse. That's not the case at all. I've met people who have been nurses for over 20 years that are travel nursing. Specifically, I remember a nurse, she was a grandmother and half of her grandkids lived up north and her other grandkids lived in Florida, and she actually would spend 6 months up north and 6 months in Florida so she could spend equal times with her grandkids. So what I mean to say with that example is that you are never too old to be a travel nurse, and equally you're never too young. There is no cap on being a travel nurse. If you were a nurse at the time that you were 20, I met some nurses that have been nurses since they were like 19 years old. As long as you have your 2 years of experience, which is what is recommended, you can be a travel nurse. So do not let your age be a factor in keeping you from pursuing this career path. So another misconception that I oftentimes hear from people that are keeping them back from travel nursing is that they feel like they gotta go really, really, really far. Okay, so that is not the case. The IRS permits companies to give tax-free stipends to employees as long as they live greater than 50 miles from their job destination. So 50 miles from your home is how far you legally would have to be traveling in order to be a travel nurse. Now, companies also offer local contracts. So with local contracts, the legalities and the tax-free stipends and all that are a little bit different, But there's also a lot of pros in that. I'm not really gonna get into too much detail with local contracts, but that is an option if you do not feel like driving the required 50 miles from your tax home. Some people also feel like they don't want to travel nurse because they feel as if they are going to lose their insurance. They feel like travel nurses do not receive insurance. That is not the case at all. Most companies offer insurance with their contracts, and your insurance starts the day that you start your contract. So, and they offer health insurance, vision, and dental. So it's all about shopping around, and if that's something that's important to you, making sure that your company offers that. And it comes out of your check the same way that it would if you worked a normal staffing job. Another misconception that I hear from people that are keeping them from pursuing this career is that they feel like it doesn't look good on their resume. They feel like when an employer looks at their resume and they see that every 13 weeks they were working at a different facility, they're gonna think that they're non-reliable, that they're not gonna stay within the company, that they're not there for longevity. And to be completely honest, that is not the case at all. And just a little bit sidebar, when you are doing your resume, you do not need to put every single assignment that you work on a separate line. What I typically do, because I normally stay with the same company for an extended period of time, I put the company's name as a whole. So if I was working with a traveling company, that's what I would put on that line. And then when I am interviewing for that position, that is when I may go into detail about the different facilities that I've worked. And to be completely honest with you, every single time that I've gone for an interview, employers have been actually pretty impressed at the different hospitals that I've worked at. They've been impressed by the different charting systems that I've been able to learn, and I'm actually an asset to the floor and to the company. And there's so many different qualities that you develop as a travel nurse that you will find that once you're on the floor, that you really become an asset to that team, to that unit, to that hospital as a whole. Another misconception that I hear from people when they think about travel nursing is that all agencies are the same. So this is not really a bad misconception, but I just want to throw it out there because if you want to travel, it's important for you to research your traveling company. Not all companies pay the same. Not all companies will give you the same benefits, and not all companies are run the same. So it's up to you to do your research to find a company that works for you. You may have had a bad experience with one company, and then after that experience, you're like, no, never again. I'm never doing this. And I'm just here to tell you that is not a reason for you not to take on another assignment, because every company is different. Last but not least, I'm not sure if this is a myth or if this is something that would keep people from traveling, but I often hear that travel nurses are rich or that we make just a ton of money. I guess your perception of rich, I guess that really all depends on your perception of rich. I don't really see a lot of travel nurses living in multi-million-dollar homes and driving Lamborghinis. Yes, you do make a little bit more than staff nurses, but it's not going to be something so significant that's going to make you a millionaire. That's all I'm saying. And that's a myth that I want to debunk, because a lot of people will go into travel nursing thinking that they are going to be making a certain amount of money, or they're trying to pursue it because they hear we just make so much money, and that's not the case. And to be honest, when you're a travel nurse, I would not recommend you do it for the money, because it's not going to be something that you're going to do for an extended period of time if you're just doing it for the money, because there's so much more that goes into it that fiscally it wouldn't keep you in the game. That's all I'm saying. So that's pretty much it. Those are myths and misconceptions that I hear the most when I'm traveling. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. I hope that I was able to debunk some myths for you. I hope that if any of these misconceptions were keeping you from pursuing your goal in travel nursing, that it kind of clears your mind and puts you at ease. And if you have any other questions, feel free to type them in the comment box below. I'm really good about answering them to the best of my ability. And I look forward to hearing from you. And do not forget to like and subscribe to the page so you can get a a little notification every time I post up videos and such. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.